Why SEO isn't a one-time thing. Just the other day, I had a guy who's a small business owner. He was talking to me saying, Rylan, I've been doing SEO for 12 months now. Why do I got to keep going? And it's pretty simple. Business is always evolving and changing. Customers are always evolving. I'm getting older. You're getting older, right? So your audience is going to change. Google's algorithm is changing. Everything's evolving. Just because one thing works, why would you keep going? Just with the one thing.
I think it's also industry changing is a big thing. People
Yes.
understanding that in your industry, if you're in the automotive industry or in the dental industry and you buy a new machine to better help you increase revenue, that changes what's happening with your SEO, because all of a sudden this machine, somebody could type in, what is this machine? You have a new keyword that gets different volumes.
Right. Well, that CEREC machine gives you same day, dental instead of like, oh, I have to wait and come back and all this stuff. That's just like a, pros, cons, and value to your patients, right?
You said Google algorithm, it's always constantly changing. We think it's like, oh, there is a major one every 3 to 6 months, but there's little changes they do on Google Business Profile. There's little changes they do with content updates. There's little changes they do with the way they want algorithm changes. We have to understand it's not just one thing that we are looking at, right? One thing we always talk about is the strategy. The strategy is completely changing all the time.
Well, I think it was November of 2022, so a few months ago. We're in 2023 now, but they changed in 1 month. They changed 8 times Google's algorithm. Number 2, keyword research. This is huge because you can't fix what you don't track, right? And tracking keywords, it's like blindly saying, hey, I'm a business owner that sells tires, right? Oh, I'm going to just go for tires. Well, what if, Big O and all these huge name brand companies, they're spending millions on SEO. You as a small business owner, good luck. It's like kind of a wasted time because you're not going to rank. Going after strategic keywords, and I call them converting keywords because you want keywords that make you money, right? Everyone does.
Absolutely. And you have to make sure you understand keywords can have huge spikes and huge declines. Mm-hmm. And there's trending keywords, right? Which is like, who's going to be 2026 president, right? Or what's happening for the World Series this year? What's happening for...
It passes by once it's done, it's done.
Gone. And then you have these evergreen keywords. And some of these evergreen keywords, like we said, they could be antiquated. It could be an old machine that somebody used to use. Like we talk about things that are going away, a fax machine. How many people probably type in the fax machine in the 90s and 2000s versus now?
None.
Right? Exactly.
No, that's huge. For me, keywords, what you want to do or what we do is we focus on a group of keywords. We get them ranked. You maintain those keywords. And then you move on to the next set of keywords. So you're always growing. And that's how at the end of 12 months, you have, 40 or 60 keywords or whatever the math is on the first page of Google. But then the next year, that's how these companies become giant. You go look at their website. It's like, holy cow, they're getting 30,000 hits, 50,000 hits, 100,000 hits. That's how they're doing it.
And I think that goes perfectly into staying relevant with your content. And so it's writing new blog articles. It's looking up and seeing what's ranking. It's being able to adjust your master content to being a little bit better on your homepage, making sure all that information is what you want. You think as a business owner that it's good to rank for specifically orthopedic foot physical therapy. Well, you notice that gets 10 clicks. And maybe that's the best converting keyword for you. But you notice if you just make it a little bit different and change up your main content on your homepage, all of a sudden you're ranking better.
Well, and it's okay to rank for that keyword, but then you have, the sub kind of keywords, if you will, right? Yeah. That's the big thing is just because that one only gets 10 traffic, like Cam said, you might want to still have it, but then go after the similar related keywords as well. But that's kind of the big thing is just staying relevant. Content refreshes though too.
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of these websites, they've been around years, right? You're a small business owner, you've been around for, at least a few years, but as you grow your site, even a year-old blog article, that's going to be something that, hey, let's go look at. And that's what we do. One of our audits, we go in and say, hey, what's the content audit like? Does this blog get any traffic? Is it actually still relevant? All these different things that we can kind of let you know, hey, we recommend a content refresh, or hey, scrap this. Let's just do a whole new blog that's, because you wrote an article 10 years ago that's only 500 words. That used to be great. Now it's terrible. You can't write a 500-word article and rank.
It's perfectly with our title. Is it a one-time thing, right? You wrote one time ago.
Boom, didn't even know. Yeah. No, exactly. Literally, when I started out doing SEO, I don't even know, 12 years ago, whatever, it was the easiest thing to SEO and get ranked. You would SEO, you would see results in like 3, maybe 6 months, but it would take like no time. Write one little tiny article and bada boom, bada bing, you're on the first page and everyone's excited. But everyone's starting to evolve and do SEO. They want to be better as their business, right?
Right. And so the next thing is competition, right? You have to understand that, do you think you're the only company in the world that got said, hey, you should do SEO, or hey, you should do digital marketing, you should do social media, you should do ads? No.
Right. Everyone's improving, trying to, right? Everyone's
Exactly.
Like, how do we?
And they don't know how. They have to understand, and one thing that you brought up in the very beginning is SEO is changing. And after 1 year, if you do it with one company and you notice things aren't moving, if you try it with us, you're going to see, oh, there's different things that they're going to start adding in. That's the difference of like one time. You try this for a year and maybe it doesn't work, and you try a new strategy or a better evolving strategy, keeping up with what's relevant, with content, with the algorithm changes, with the keywords, with the audience, right? Everything we've discussed about, it's going to help you.
With your competition. That's one thing we do at the beginning too, is a competitor analysis, because it all ties in together. That's what's cool about SEO, is looking at your competition. That's why I mentioned the big O thing earlier. Literally, you can look and say, okay, what are they ranking for? What keywords? What's the keyword difficulty for each individual one? And then you can say, okay, because our domain is kind of lower, we haven't really done SEO, our SEO team wasn't that good. We don't, that's kind of the issue with our industry, right? You don't know who's doing proper SEO. So that's why you got to get the audit, right? But my point is once you do a competitor analysis, you can see, okay, let's go after these 5 or 10 keywords first, get them ranking, because those are like the lower hanging fruit. Get those ranking, get some domain authority, get some good backlinks, all the stuff. And then you can go after the harder. You get a little bit of trust with Google, and then you go on, right? So if you guys enjoyed this video, watch our next video. Is SEO worth it?